This is a grey February afternoon. We are standing in the middle of Nørrebro, which is a northern borough of Copenhagen city. This is the most intercultural, inter-ethnic and inter-religious part of Copenhagen city. And if you look in the streets, there are people of different color, different ethnicity, there are food, restaurants. There is this warmth about this area. Unfortunately, this beautiful atmosphere of inter-ethnic, inter-religious cooperation and living was disturbed. What happened is that a school teacher or a school headmaster in one of the local schools gave an interview to a national radio and said that in her school she would not advise the Jewish parents to enroll their children. And this was, of course, picked up by politicians, by the media, and a total storm broke loose.
So what about other schools around here? Is it a general problem like this?
Well, it's a good question because I did some research, both in the media and I spoke with some people. None of the other 6 schools in this neighborhood has any problem with anti-Semitism or mobbing or harassment of Jewish children in the school.
So then why did it raise such a big storm this? Why did the politicians get involved?
Well, not all politicians got involved. It was the very right-wing politician from Conservative Party and from Danish People Party, which is well known for its anti-minorities and anti-Islamic opinions. So they got involved into that fray. They picked it up, which is a local problem, into a national problem and made into a problem of Islam versus Judaism, Islamic militancy and Islamic culture, which does not fit in Danish society.
And what about media? What is the role in media in this?
Well, media played both good and bad part. Some part of the newspaper, for example, Politiken, they were very balanced and nuanced. They went around and made a lot of research, and actually they rejected this idea that there was general harassment of Jewish children. Danish DR TV, which is national TV, they also covered it very balanced. The problem was this TV2 and Berlingske Tidende, which is a very right-wing newspaper. They made this problem into a national problem and said Jews cannot walk around in streets. They feel harassed. And newspaper Berlingske went so far that he compared the Jewish situation under the Nazis with what was happening in Nørrebro. And I think this is horrible way of putting things together. To me, this is an insult to the memory of Holocaust victims, the 6 million Jewish people who died, that to compare what happened under the Nazi Germany with this very little local issue in a local school.
But still, there comes reports continuously about continuous discrimination about religious and ethnic minorities also in Denmark. So is there no truth to these stories?
Of course, it will be foolish to say that there is no anti-Semitism. I work with anti-Semitism and with Islamophobia. I know that there are some people among the Palestinian groups who use Israel-Palestinian issue for harassing some Jewish children in the school where they go. So this is a local school child problem. And of course, if somebody meets somebody and who has a kolat on the head and the person can be harassed, nobody should deny that. And it's despicable, it is unacceptable that anybody with a Jewish background cannot walk in the street. But this is not the situation. This situation is blown up out of the proportion and made into a national problem. This is what I think we should work against.
How could we work against the discrimination that is going on?
Well, there are many ways to do that. First of all, against anti-Semitism, what the schools can do is that they can talk to the parents of those children who harass Jewish children. Then they can involve NGOs, they can involve imams, they can involve youth clubs, all those places where the young people go. So that when everybody is involved, then the parents and the school children will know that there is somebody keeping eye on them. And of course, police can be involved too. And if there are proof that some children have done that, then the police should take action against that. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is that in schools, there should be courses about Judaism, about Islam, about other religion, and of course with Christianity, so that children from the very early age understand that they live in a society with different cultures, different religions, and they respect it. That is the most important thing. And of course, teachers. The role of teachers into talking to the parents, talking with children is very, very important.
Now you mention other ethnic and religious minorities. Do you see this as a more general issue than just about the Jewish children?
Well, I can tell you that last week a new report came from PET, which is the Danish security services. Every year they make a report about harassment and hate crimes. And in 2011, they calculated that that religious group which is most discriminated and which is most harassed are the Muslims. And then there are Jewish people, and then there are some others. So the problem of religious discrimination and harassment and mobbing is going on. And I think that the politicians should look at this from a total inclusive perspective and not make into a problem between Judaism and Islam or Jews and Muslims, but take the problem as a whole, give some funding to the local areas, the schools, to the city council, so that they can make campaigns of awareness also among Danish people, because there are many Danes who also discriminate the Jews and the Muslims. So this is a national problem, but I would say again, it is nothing compared to what happens in many other countries. Denmark is a very peaceful country. People do not go around and harass people or beat them up or commit hate crime. It does happen, but we should solve this problem locally, in schools, in youth clubs, and wherever it is found.
There has been a continuous discussion in Denmark regarding this, where it has been placed as a Jewish-Muslim question. Others say that it's rather a political question about the Israeli-Palestinian.
The teacher who first came with this statement is very famous for her good work with minorities. And she did not say it was an Islamic problem. She said that there were some Palestinian children who might harass Jewish children. So the problem is that every time there is something happens between Israel and Palestinian in the Middle East, then the reaction comes, and Palestinian people who live here, they get offended or they get affected by that, and they may commit anti-Semitic actions against children or against other people. But it is not a problem which can be called Judaism and Islam problem, because Islam respects Judaism. Islam calls Judaism as a religion of the book, and there have never been any problem in Copenhagen between Jews and Muslims. I work with anti-Semitism. I'm part of a Jewish-Muslim network in Denmark and also in Europe. And there are many, many good people among Muslims and Jews who work together and who are working to solve this problem. But again, we will like to focus and say and tell the world it's a local problem, and the solution is local. And those politicians and the media which want to make it into a problem of of Islam and Judaism, in my eyes, they are committing anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, because this way they contribute to enlarge the problem, to magnify it, exaggerate it, than to solve it.